Good afternoon, everyone, from the beautiful Rady shell on the Embarcadero. It's just a gorgeous day today. We are behind the convention center. There's the shell. This is actually the park where Hall H, just on the other side, where the Hall H next day line starts for wristbands. But in front of me today, I have kind of a what to have in your backpack essentials. I'm gonna try and do a tutorial. So let's see here. I'm gonna start out. Yep, there's the convention center behind there. I'm so excited about Comic-Con in 2 weeks. So here's where we'll start. Number one, this is probably the most important thing that you will need for Comic-Con is your badge. Now, one of the things about badges in the past few years is they do not come with lanyards anymore. Well, actually, oh gosh, that's not right. I have to cut that part of the video. I guess they never really did come with lanyards. You pick up your lanyards at what we call BBL, books, bags, and lanyards, inside the convention center after you arrive. The problem with it is that it's a long line, and so I tend to not to bring my own lanyard. I actually have a lanyard that I have decorated from pins from previous years, but I have saved some of the other old lanyards from previous years. Definitely pick one of these up so that you can take your time getting up to books, bags, and lanyards. And still have your badge with you. So that's number one. Number two is a good backpack. Now, a good roomy. It doesn't have to be huge, but make sure that it's nice and roomy. And definitely don't. I've had friends that have brought tactical backpacks in the past that have a lot of straps and things to hook beaners on, and they end up not having enough room for their swag and collectibles that they get, but also they end up snagging on things in the convention center. So, it gets pretty tight, especially Fridays and Saturdays. It's pretty crowded. So, definitely something that's in a front pocket, of course. It's very important. The next things that I would say that I store in my front pocket are tissues, and I actually clip this somewhere outside of my backpack a lot of times, unless it gets really crowded on Fridays and Saturdays, and then I'll slip this into one of the baggies. I enjoy the Ziploc baggie system for inside the backpack. What this is hand sanitizer and sunscreen. And these are just where you can just flip the bottom off and squeeze them out. What I do is I leave the big bottles of hand sani and sunscreen at home. I leave them on my countertop so that when I go and prepare my snacks for the next day, or I can refill these guys without having to carry a big thing of sunscreen. And I like that when you're outside, you can it's easy to remember, or when you're on the trolley or in your Uber on the way down here, you can, they're handy. So I just clip those onto a zipper on my backpack somewhere. So let's go back. Well, since we're right here, these are Sharpies and pens, and also a couple of tiny clips, binder clips, and I have a little chunky book in here. Just in case, you're gonna in between the hotels and the convention center, and I've run into celebrities, over just all over the place. So you never know when you're gonna run into someone randomly that you're not formally looking for a book signing or a poster signing or whatnot. So it's nice to have this little hardcover book. And if you don't use it for anything else, maybe while you're in line somewhere, you can doodle with your friends. So like I have some different colored Sharpies and pens, but the most important Sharpies a black Sharpie and a silver Sharpie. So black Sharpies are great on white paper or white background. Silvers are great for blacks. I think Jay Parks of Star Wars Cats, I should have brought the book. She signed my books of hers with the silver, and it looks gorgeous. So another thing is sticky notes, regular Post-it notes, and then I have this kind of the larger Post-it notes. And what this is, I basically use this as a little notebook. And so on each of these pages, I'll write down things like the booths that I want to visit, the booth numbers, different event times, whether that's the Her Universe, lineup time in the morning for the wristbands on Thursday mornings, and what time the show is, or whether that's Masquerade on Saturday night, whatever it is that or different panels. I like to have just this little as a little notebook for myself, and then I can also tear off pages, as the convention goes on. So that's another section. Another thing, a poster tube. Now, depending on what your fandom is and what you're here for, if you're a collector, if you collect Funko Pops, you'll want, like a pop protectors, or if you're a comic book collector, you'll want, one of the comic cases. Things like that, whatever you're into. But I definitely recommend a poster tube. Frank Cho signed a couple of Star Wars prints at his booth for me, and this is what I was so glad that I had this with me to be able to transport them home safely. No one wants a creased or wrinkled poster, so definitely bring a poster tube, and it doesn't have to be huge. Unless you're looking for huge posters, and then you can get one of the big plastic ones that are giant. But moving over, another absolute essential is a power bank. So I like the anchors. Anchors have been, they have different sizes, but they've always been, it's been, I think, 10 years of using anchors, and they're just really solid. And I think this is actually my second one in 10 years. Because they've lasted long, they give full charges. They've lasted basically the entire convention, with maybe a charge or two overnight, the entire 5 days. So another thing is definitely bring, your cables. This one includes USB-C, micro USB, and an iPhone Lightning charger. But I think most of my devices this year are all USB-C, so I'll probably just bring that. But you have some options, but don't forget it. Moving along, okay, so here's kind of the first aid section. A lot of people say bring like aspirin or Tylenol or whatnot, pain relievers. I do not like the pills. I don't really care for them, except I'll recommend 2 different types of pills. Imodium and Dayquil. Now, I wouldn't take the entire package each day. This would probably be laying on my counter along with the sunscreen and hand sanitizer to refill. But these are the 2 things that you really want if as far as medications. As far as pain, I prefer Solampus patches for my back and BioFreeze for my anything else, calves, shoulders, whatever else. I love BioFreeze for those types of things. And then Band-Aids. Now, I put this in here because they're cute Star Wars Band-Aids, but I would actually just have them loose in my medication pack, just to save space and not have a hard case in there. But definitely Band-Aids are great for, cuts and things like that, which I haven't really ever had. But what I've really used them for are calluses on my toes, or if your shoes are rubbing, that's what they really come in handy. So a few Band-Aids would be great. The other thing, electrolytes. Definitely, this is if you're outside, walking around the convention center, even inside the convention center, definitely drink drink water, bring your electrolytes. Let's go over a couple more of these things. I'm not sure what to start with first. Okay, inside convention center. Well, I guess these are essentials. We've got a couple different types of fans. I, of course, am a huge Tokidoki fan. So I have a Toki. I get they pass out Tokidoki fans at the Tokidoki booth each year. So I get a different one each year. But so I always have one because I am a Tokidoki fan. Haha. But then also, I love these, and I actually will always have a couple of these for my friends or people in line that I run into that it's just a little pop-up fan. So super light, fits in the backpack really easily. That's the thing, backpack space is at a premium. So you want to pack, pack as thin and light as you can. Another thing this is probably one of the most critical things, a stool. We've got two different types of stools here. This is the disc pop-up stool, and this is like the camp chair trifold stool. And which I have used in the past until I discovered these guys. And I'll go over that maybe a little bit in a second video. Let's get through the essentials first. The other thing is umbrellas. Okay, I know it doesn't sound important, but it really is, especially if you're in line for anything outside of Comic-Con, such as Adult Swim or one of the Hulu activation FX. I love FX every year. This is actually an umbrella that they gave out from FX last year. Now the problem, and I may go over this in a second video along with the stools to kind of demonstrate them, but although I love that I got the FX umbrella, it's really thin. And so it doesn't actually offer as much shade and sun protection as you would think. This, again, I don't know if you can tell, it's actually lined with black, so it's completely opaque. It's an opaque umbrella, white on the outside, to really reflect the sun away from you and keep you cool. And this guy just works great. Plus, it's really, really compact. So although I loved, you love getting the freebies and the swag from the different studios and places, this is your best bet right here. Make sure that it's opaque. That's really what's going to shade you. Another thing is a light jacket. People have recommended hoodies. I think that hoodies are too thick and they take up too much real estate in the backpack. So I have a super, super light jacket that's actually waterproof. So it could act as a, it doesn't really rain at Comic-Con, but it's very, very light and it packs up really tight. I'd probably pack this up in a quart-size baggie, just to have, because the panel rooms inside the convention center are well air conditioned. They can get a little chilly, so I would definitely have something. It's going to be hot outside. It's going to be hot in the convention center on the floor, but when you're sitting down in AC for a minute, it can get a little chilly, especially if it's an important panel that you really want to see and stay the whole time and be comfortable. Next thing, we're going to look at water and hydration. We talked about the electrolytes earlier, but if you are going to be, I'm a big fan of reusable everything except for this, which will be an exception that we'll talk about in a second. But this right here is a great water bottle for if you are planning, if your day is going to be inside the convention center the entire time. It's my Star Wars Ahsoka water bottle, and I like the ones with internal straws so that you're not having to tilt, that you can just sip straight as, so this is a good one. There's tons of water fountains, and it doesn't taste the great. I prefer bringing enough of my own filtered water, but you can refill these anywhere inside the convention center. Now this, I love this guy. This is what I bring. I actually don't bring this to the convention center because I know that I'm going to go through this much water each day. The neat thing about this guy, especially if you're outside in line, some of these activations can be 2-3 hours. I think I was once in the line for Abbott Elementary for 4 hours. So, but what I love about this water bottle, not only does it have an internal straw, so you're not having to raise it up, what it does is as you drink your water, it's collapsible. And so this works great to fit inside the backpack. So when I first get to the con, it's full. I carry it, you know, like this. But as you know, as I get low on water, I actually fold it up and have it inside my backpack. So I really love this guy. And it's good just to have anytime. It tells you this is how much water you're supposed to be drinking per day. So kind of neat. As far as the disposables, if you're gonna have to do something disposable, I use these for my coffee or green tea in the mornings when I'm heading to the convention. They're compostable, and that's the only thing I like to throw away once I get to the convention, because it's really hard to have a hot drink container. Again, that doesn't take up much real estate in your backpack. So now we'll go on to snacks, which this could be a whole video in itself, but I'm going to come around the table a little bit. Let's see if we can't get a better... These guys are down. So my favorite snacks, I love these little baggies, little reusable Ziploc baggies. And what I do is I'm a Costco fan. I love Costco. Start out with the protein bar, but I get the mixed unsalted nuts and this Mega Mega Power Up Mix from Costco. And I refill my little baggies of these each morning. One of my absolute favorite Comic-Con staples for the past over a decade are Uncrustables. You grab these guys out of the freezer, and by the time that it's around 10:30, 11, and you're in line somewhere and you just want something, these are great. I don't eat them any other time of the year except for Comic-Con, but they're great. And also, if you have anything else, like a granola bar or something that might have chocolate or something in it, you could put these in between them, because when you first take them out, they're frozen. And of course, Costco again. I love these popcorn bags. I just take one of these and throw the top of the backpack because they're going to get smushed. So, but I think that's probably about it. I'll see if I can't do maybe a little bit more in-depth demonstration of the umbrellas and the stools. What I didn't say, I don't believe, is that the tripod stools, they seem like they're more compact, but they're just really painful after a while. And I just love you know what, I'll just do it right now. Let me see if I can demonstrate it right now. Let's see if I could do this with tripod. This is actually a removable pad. But then how these open, just like that. Oh, there's the shell. Just like that. So they're actually adjustable in however, let's see if I can do this again. Adjustable heights if you want it all the way, or you just want do a little shorter, however you want. But they're great because when you're lying, open them up, close them up, beam them to the back of your backpack. They come with, or you can get the pads. I actually attach Velcro to mine just because this is a little awkward. They do keep them on to the seat, but when you're going fast, you know, sometimes like when the line starts moving and you're going fast, I just like to have it attached, because this does get these little elastic straps do get in the way of closing up the chair. So that's a little tip and trick about that chair. And I don't know that I need to demonstrate the umbrellas. Just know that if you get the sheer white ones, they're not going to give you the same... Oh, ferry going by right now. They're not going to give you the same type of protection that you get with the opaque umbrellas. So anyway, that's my Comic-Con essentials tutorial. It took a little bit longer than I thought, but I'm definitely enjoying this gorgeous day behind the convention center at the Rady Shell. My birthday's coming up soon. We're supposed to go to Sarah McLachlan. We should be right up there. So, all right, well, have a great day, everyone. I hope this tutorial helped you in some way, and please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.